Hello and welcome to this episode of the Hat Hazard podcast. I've had a lovely week. I've had a really nice week. I had, this is going to sound like a lush and I really don't mean to. I've had 2 nights where I've been allowed to drink, and I say that I really don't drink anymore, really at all actually, because when you do what I do, you're driving everywhere and finishing a show and driving, so I would never. But also, even if I have a night in, the idea of waking up, and I'm old now, obviously, and the idea of waking up even a little bit bedraggled and squiffy, and then, I feel 3 glasses of wine now. I feel 2 glasses of wine now, I think, in the morning. I can feel that. It's rattling around in there with the rats giving me shames. So I just basically abstain completely. I don't. But on Wednesday night, we're recording in a way that this will come out a few weeks after. But on Wednesday, Adam did a pop up a surprise show here in Liverpool, and I was really lucky, and I'd asked my folks, and they were like, yeah, we can come babysit. And then my dad just was like, just have a drink. Like, one of my best mates, who you met last week, Chris, was in town, and I was just saying, have a drink, and I did. I had I think 2 beers, and it was just lovely. It was so, I can't remember the last time I've just completely spontaneously just been like, yeah, I'll stay out and have a couple of drinks with my mates in a pub. It's so funny, all the little things that have gone. Like, my mate Miriam was saying today, I went to the cinema on Sunday. I was like, I haven't been to cinema since she was born. And I'm not trying to sit here playing the smallest violin. Like I said, I feel very lucky all the time, basically. But it was funny sitting there in the pub being like, God, this is so great. This is so nice. And I do. And then on Saturday, I had a 24 hours away from her because I had to go down to do a show in Bristol, show in Swansea, and then drive back up straight thing on the Sunday morning. And so same thing in Swansea, finished the gig and then hung out with the wonderful Sandro Ford and his mates and Jordan and everyone, and had a glass of wine. I had 2 glasses of wine, if you can bear. And I don't miss... I'm not someone who misses my former life in an enormous way. I know that's a really big thing for a lot of people. As I said last week, I do feel like I got so much of my wild out. But it's funny having a drink in a really casual, setting. It's not a... Sorry, Ebola's back. I obviously had that wedding in June where I went down for the weekend, and that's like a thing. You're like, here she fucking goes, mum's on the town, and that was great. But just a sort of informal couple of glasses, not worrying about driving, not worrying about the baby, not worrying about getting up and crack a dawn in the morning. And so, God, it was just lovely. And I think, do you know what I think it was like? It was lovely, and I don't want to sit here and be like, it just felt like my former self, because I am not struggling, and I say this with real gratitude. I know a lot of women struggle with the identity crisis of becoming a mum, and fairly so, incredibly reasonably so. I haven't found that. It was like putting on jeans that I used to wear all the time, and even though they still fit, they fit different. Does that make sense? I'm in them. I know I used to wear them all the time, but they just fit differently. So even for the example, at the end of, I was about to go back to the hotel that they were putting me up in Swansea. Sandra was like, do you want another one? And I was like, I don't actually. And I could have, I was having such a lovely time. The hang was great. The wine was great. But I just was like, no, I know what tomorrow will be, and I just don't need that extra one. And I think it's that. It's knowing the repercussions, maybe that was it. There were no repercussions. I think me and Chris and I talked about that last week. There were none. How we lived in Chicago, there were none. And I love my repercussions. I don't have any resentment towards them. But yeah, I just realised that. I was like, I'm out here and I'm having this lovely time, but I don't want to, I'm in no way tempted to fucking set fire to the night like I used to be. There's no sort of like, let's fucking go. You're like, yeah, absolutely, let's go. And then it's 7:01 on the dot, that little girl's going to wake up and be 150 miles per hour and we're getting hair out the shower plug. So no, actually, I don't need to add nausea into the equation. But I had a lovely week. I did have a lovely day. So that 24 hours when I went around to Bristol and Swansea was a bit of a humbler, actually. I obviously drove the 4 hours down to Bristol. This, like I said, will be a few weeks after the event when this episode comes out. I did what I think was a completely classic whip. Now, for those of you who don't know, a whip is a work in progress. So when comics are putting their new show together, their new hour together, we need places to run it out, basically, and just see what we've got, see what we haven't, see where the gaps are, see where the bad bits are. Because otherwise you're trying to do it over 10-minute spots, which is fine. And I have no problem with that. But you sort of just want to see the overarching shape of the thing. And I will tell you, the overarching shape of the thing is bad. I will say, based on what happened in Bristol, I was like, gosh, really, actually quite bad. And I was quite mortified afterwards. I was really mortified. The room was great. They were all lovely. I was a 20-man stag doing. And I went out, this was at 5 p.m. on a Saturday, and I was like, look, I totally understand that I'm like a Boise comic. I'm in an environment of boys. I'm in a very Boise scene. I work a lot with the boys. I've sort of been like weirdly vouched for and, you know, thumbs upped by the boys. So I understand if you know me, but I was like, did you mean to come to this like at 5 p.m. on a Saturday to see me do a work in progress? And the guy, bless him, was like, well, you were the only thing that was on. And I was like, thank God. J'adore honesty. I don't think it was for them. And I really was quite mortified afterwards, like I said, just that really, not embarrassed, just sort of like, oh, I did a bad show. And people turned out and they paid £8 and it was a bad show and I did a bad thing. That sort of, I let people down. And then I just had that chat with myself of going, you are meant to. It is a good thing for a thing to be bad at this stage of the game. The thing that you're going to make isn't necessarily going to be bad, but you have to go through the bad to get to the good in any creative process. And it's all stuff I know. It's all stuff that all of us, as talking to each other all the time, all comedians take as given. But it's so funny that I know all this, my head knows all this, but in the moment, and I think this applies to everything, a lot of things, I don't think it's comedy specific, just the confidence and the sure-footedness to be like, no, I'm confident it not being good yet. And the yet is okay. So I'm confident that I know the fact that I'm doing this and finding out that it's not good is good, because I won't suddenly stand up on stage at a time when I have maybe charged people properly to come and watch it and I pour out undiluted shite at them. Actually, it wasn't a complete mess. There were some bits that luckily got a lull. Would have been a very rough hour otherwise. But yeah, it's funny that I'm still not very, it doesn't sit easily with me, and it should do. It should be a really legitimate, validated part of the process, and it is. But I had a real like, oh, I'm so sorry. I would almost be like, I'm so sorry. I'm actually better. And I was thinking about it because of the story Brennan told when he was on about doing this new material night, and realising he hadn't told people, and then at the end needing to be like, look how good I can actually be. So then I drove to Swansea to close out Sandro's gig and felt like Mick fucking Jagger. And God bless comedy. Comedy, I mean, it's nicer when it happens that way around, where you're a bad comic and then you're a very good comic and you get to end the night on that. But my God, how many times in my life have I done 2 or 3 gigs a night, almost identical sets? One, you leave going, maybe I'm Mick Jagger, maybe I'm the greatest comedian who's ever lived. And then the next one you leave going, I'll just retrain. Foxton's looks nice, you get a mini. It was such a night of 2 halves, and I'm very grateful it went the way round that it did. But yeah, I also can't crack Bristol. I will say that. Bristolians, if you're listening, I think you're all delightful and I think you're all so fun and cool. But I can't crack you. I feel like all the gigs I have in Bristol, I'm like, it was nearly good. And that's not me shitting on you guys. That's not me making it your problem. It isn't your problem. It's just funny. You're like, why can't I find them? Why can't I get to them? There's like always when I've done Bristol, it's like, oh, okay, these guys like me. We're in. And then these guys, you're like, absolutely not at all. Wouldn't piss me if I was on fire. And then I get them, and then those guys go, and it's like herding cats in Bristol. You're all very particular little cats in Bristol. That's what I think. And I haven't worked you out yet. And that's nice to have a goal. It's nice to have a goal. So yeah, it was a funny old day. My algorithms have now worked me out completely. This is I'm mam soloing now. This is more mummy specific. My algorithms have definitely worked me out now, with the exception of artistic cycling. Just Google it. artistic cycling. Artistic, not autistic. That I wouldn't be shitting on that. But although I'd argue when you watch artistic cycling, you're like, I'm sure they've got a little spicy something. It's Google artistic cycling. I don't know why I'm being fed it, but what a way to scroll. What a little punctuation mark in my scroll sessions that is. But I'm obviously my algorithm has worked out that I'm this single mother. I wonder how. She says with her podcast background behind her. I think I'm now being fed all the sort of picking my words here. Fuck marriage people. All the stats and the data and the interviews and the women who've decided to not get married, and that whole thing about like marriage being institutionally patriarchal and it really detrimenting women. And in their defense, all the stats are there. And I'm not going to wade into this. I hope I've been really thoughtful about the way everyone chooses to do things. I love watching my friends fall in love. I love watching my friends have fabulous marriages. I understand that they're hard. I respect that they're hard. I mean, Jesus, like Carl's episode was such a testament to those people who work so hard on their relationships and make these beautiful, wonderful lives with other people. But I am being fed all the reasons why marriage as an institution really actually detriments both people, really can harm both people. It can stop men evolving and taking responsibility and accountability in a way that they maybe could or should. And for women, it, all that health for health detriments but anyway, I don't even know what I think. I think I could sit here and spout off on like, marriage is bad for this, and then I'll fall madly in love with someone and be like, we're getting married tomorrow. So I don't want to do that. But they said something, and it was, now I'm going to get this right. Men have never provided for women. They have just restricted women's ability to provide for themselves. I was like, holy God. I mean, fuck. And I don't know what I think about that. Obviously, on a literal sense, men have absolutely provided for women historically because they had to. But I'm not dismissing the fact that they had to because the women... But that was one of those sentences where you're just like, whoa, golly. And it was something I asked Carl when he was on, and I've been wondering about is how a woman in my position would then feel about if a man turned up and not forced himself to provide, but like offered to, I suppose is my question. Like, I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I need a man to financially provide for me because I don't. I have a family, albeit a small one, but I provide for it. We are provided for by me. So I'd never want my money to be tied up with someone else's money because as far as I'm concerned, any money is hers. But I wonder how you square that. I wonder how that sits with women who maybe have lived a really, really, really independent life and financially, and then are in a situation where the offer's on the table. Maybe they fall in love with someone who outstrips them earning wise, or who just expects that of relationships for finances to be joined. That always scares me a little bit. And again, that's probably just because I've never had it. I've been thinking about my boyfriends in the past. One of them, I was a student when we were together. That sounds like a predator. He was also a student, but just a couple of years older than me. So our earnings changed massively after the first year, just by virtue of the fact that I was still a student. And I remember saying to him, he was really generous with like gifts and things. I remember saying, I really actually would love it if you didn't turn up with presents every time, because all it does to me is it starts a running tally in my head of all the gifts I haven't been able to reciprocate and all the ways I haven't. So I think it was in there from really, really early on. I really struggled not being equal. And I'm really not sitting here trying to be like, I've just been this independent forever. But I definitely remember, even at that age, which was 19, 20, being very aware of not wanting to get used to it being this off balance. Maybe I was fine with it in moments where obviously like he could pay for dinner and I quite literally couldn't, but I don't think I ever wanted to set up a situation whereby it was weighted in his favour, the financial outgoings and incomings. I mean, God, Jesus, it was. And then I had an actor boyfriend who was a fucking disaster with money, so it was all fine. But I do wonder. I wonder, and I'd love to hear from people who are in that position whereby either they've like been a single woman for ages or they've been a single mother for ages, and suddenly they're in a position where finances are having to be joined. I just don't know how I'd feel about that, and whether you should feel a certain way or whether you just go, no, that's life, and that's someone just wanting to come along and help and be a part of your world, and actually. Money is an aspect of partnership, isn't it? It's then someone else is putting all the energy in, doing all the planning, doing da-da-da-da-da. So I don't know. I may be waffling now, but yeah, it just really struck me in that moment about the habitual, systemic fact of actually women have been prevented from providing for themselves historically until quite recently, until the last few decades, really. And it goes, and again, I think I mentioned that Cut article about the fact that Gen Z are now, like, based on the data, skewing it completely the other way, which I just find fascinating. And I kind of, it's going to be a real reckoning, this one. I think it'll be fascinating. It will be fascinating. Okay, this is the Dean McCarthy from Widnes Arch Nemesis of the Week award. And I think I know who I was writing it down. I was like, oh no, I know who I think my arch nemesis, but I think I'm the overarching arch nemesis. I think this is a real moment of misandry for me. Misandry is the reverse of misogyny, where it's me feeling superior to men by virtue of the fact that I'm a woman. I had a thing delivered from Vinted. Yes, I know, non-stop glamour. Thank you. I had a thing delivered from Vinted, and because of the way parcels work around where I live, they sometimes get lost and go to the wrong place. So I was just like, I'm going to do one of those. Well, I'm going to do one of those, like, take it to a shop and I'll go to the shop options. Went to the shop and they couldn't find it anywhere. I mean, I gave the tracking number, the collection code, my name, my address, my phone number, whatever. And it was two men. These two men were looking for it for such a long time. And I obviously had pickles with me, and I was like, oh my God, do you feel, I was like this close, and you go, you had to, you shut your mouth. I was like, lads, do you think if I looked, are you looking, like, are you looking, or are you looking like a man? Are you looking like this? Like, are you looking? And I was like, Hattie, you've got it. This is would a reverse on the other foot. This would be bad. You can't be like, I just really caught myself. I was like, right, if two women were looking for your parcel, would you trust that they were looking for your parcel and doing a good job? I mean, there's now like a fucking open investigation between InPost, this corner shop, the whole Vinted. And I was like, and there is still part of me that's like, yes, but what if I looked? Could I just creep behind your counter and just for me, for my own? But so my arch nemesis is the men who are looking for my parcel, because quite literally they've either stolen it or it's there. But then I may be the foundational arch nemesis because I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing of being like, but boys. And at one point I'm always like, there's a voice in my head monitoring whether I'm being a twat, especially when I live up north, because obviously we're such twats in London. I was like, is going through my twat filter? I'm like, are you being patronising and a dick? Just make sure. And I was like, would you like me to tell you what is in the parcel, just so you know sort of at least what size you're looking for of the parcel? They'd been going for 15 minutes before they asked me to, I offered up that piece of information. I would argue that first question just immediately culls all the great big square boxes. Immediately it does. It's a little t-shirt. But again, so you go, you're not even versed in how to find. I would have asked that very quickly. And he got a bit like uppy with me. He's like, yeah, you can't. And I was like, oh God. Sometimes I do feel like maybe I'm not being a twat. I'm just saying things in my twatty little West London voice, which I totally understand how that comes across, especially in the north. But yes, so that's it. Just a real healthy dosing of misandry and lost parcels this week.
Okay, it feels weird.
It's just me and you.
Okay.
It's just me and you. It's me and Josh Jones. I think we should start it like that.
There's no one, there's 3 cameras and no one stood there.
I know.
It feels very sort of...
Does it feel like Big Brother in the diary room?
Yeah, well, I was thinking more, I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Sure.
And I just feel like we're in like an apocalypse, and the way we're dealing with it is doing a podcast.
Doing a podcast, which is the most
Just for
comedian
us.
response.
Yeah.
We're in an apocalypse. What do you want to do? Honestly, probably a pod. I think we should talk about it.
Yeah. That I think I would probably. I think if there was an apocalypse, I'd guest on a podcast because
Definitely.
every comedian I know would do one for themselves. Do you listen back to this?
No, actually, I do. That's not true. I do because I like to help with the clips, so timestamp.
Okay.
So I do. So I'm getting better at hearing myself and looking at myself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
No. So I used to timestamp, and then I gave away my money of the Patreon because I didn't want to be involved in anything to do with it. So I
Right.
just. They know that if when I do the podcast, I just do it, and then I forget that it's done.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Because I shouldn't really say I don't like. I do enjoy the podcast. It's
Yeah.
me and my two mates, but like, I like stand up because I like stand up. I'm not like in it for the podcast.
Josh, like
But I've-
100. So, and they will back me up. Adam and Carl will back me up. And I think I said this on the pod. When they asked me to do this, I honestly was like, oh, please no. And that sounds so ungrateful. But I was like, I actually don't. I'm the same as you. I just really like live comedy.
I just like stand up.
But I was the same when I was an actor. I just wanted to do stage. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just happy doing stage if I never have to do TV and film. I happy as Larry. But actually, do you know what's weird? Because of the way this podcast is, like, I've structured it and made it, I love... It's exactly like when I was an actor. I love table work. So I love prepping for each podcast.
Okay.
I really like the writing of it and the formulating of it and all the...
Thinking
like,
of the question.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying this is quite, it feels, I listened to Brennan's and I was like, oh, it's not like being funny, it's like
You can be as funny as you
No,
like.
but it was like he's being serious.
I
And I
know.
know he's both, so I was like, he's not even this serious when
when we're out.
when you're out.
I know.
So it's like, it
I know.
felt like, oh God, this
And I
is
don't
my
wanna-
Oprah Winfrey
No, I know,
moment.
and I don't want to get the reputation of being like inside the actor studio, but for comedians, you know, where I
Yeah.
bring people on, I'm like, hey, let's talk about that time that you had that intense trauma and let's really dig it
Yeah.
up. So, Josh, I brought you here to talk about your abortion.
I actually, not you, I really like you, but I do
Thanks.
struggle with quite a lot of actors.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Josh, I hate them.
Okay.
The mates I have who are actors, I honestly
Really
sort of forget that they're actors.
I
We
really-
never talk about it. It's never a thing, unless someone's like in something and we might put it on, but it's never spoken about. I
'Cause
loathe actors.
I think this is really snobby of me.
I doubt it.
But like when an actor's like trying to relate to me and be like, oh, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but I like write everything I do. I perform everything, I direct everything I do. Like I'm do everything. And you're, I think actors are like a pawn for a director or for a writer.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is, might get me in trouble. I think it's the least creative thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So then
yeah,
when
yeah,
you get like Leonardo DiCaprio, who's a brilliant actor,
Sure, yeah, we'll give him that.
but having like him really, do you know when you get actors who do these really in-depth chats for an hour? I'm like, but really, you're not the decision maker. The writer and the director are. Like, the best way you are at doing your job is being a sub. You just take it and give them what they want. Like, that's what an actor is, I think. So
Yes.
So like, I like actors and I can recognize a really good actor.
Yeah.
But I think out of all the creative, actors talk about themselves the most and like really deep dive into what they do the most. When actor, like they're not doing the most.
cogs.
They're doing the least
creative thing.
because
Okay.
they're being
Yeah,
told what to do.
And I actually would extend that. I don't disagree with anything you said. I'd extend it to when I was acting. I had innately, and I don't know if it's just because of the drama school I went to or whatever, I had this innate understanding that the writer's the most important person. The writer's the most important person. All you're doing is serving the words of the
Right,
writer.
yeah.
And I could never believe it when I went into other jobs, either stage or a couple of times I did TV. The actors who put themselves before this, they'd be like, hi, sorry, can I change a couple of the lines here? And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But you're not a writer. Like, you're not the writer. I mean, to the point that I would say I got myself into trouble. I was in this one specifically, like, fucking terrible show. Like, terrible
TV
stage play.
show or
No.
play?
Well, a few of those as well, but like, terrible stage play. And I think because throughout the process, I didn't have the chutzpah to be like, hi, I'm so sorry, this makes no sense. Like, can we just all discuss? And the writer was like alive and there in the room. It wasn't like we were taking on Arthur Miller, who like probably couldn't have spoken back. But I was like, I could have said, I'm so sorry, this doesn't. But as it was, I was like, the writer, you must do. Or the writer said, well, it's the writer's written it.
See, I agree with you, but I'm a hypocrite because when I get sent scripts, I'm like, oh God, that needs rewriting. But I write.
I know.
So that's why
the thing that winds me up when I now and again get on audition now, and they're not doing it so much anymore. But there was a period of a few years where every fucking casting director would send you this script that was like categorically not funny, absolutely not funny. They're like, we're looking for kind of a Fleabag. Like if you could like give it a bit of Fleabag. I was like, no, you can't send absolute dross and expect me to Fleabag this.
Yeah.
She wrote a fucking fire script. She wrote an incredible script and then performed incredibly. Don't fucking send over a ham and cheese toasty and be like, could you Michelin this up, please?
I get quite a lot of voiceover auditions, and I always get mad scripts, and I always do like fruits. I've been getting a lot of fruits and like.
Do you mean fruits like colloquial?
Like fruit and vegetables.
Oh right, literally. I thought you were being like you.
I've auditioned for 2 separate garden peas on 2 different projects. And
okay, when you said I get fruit, I was like, is that how they come into your agent? They're like, we've got a fruit for him. I was like, because we need to discuss this.
No, I get a lot of fruit and veg. I had one where, and it was like, we think Josh would be really good for this. And it was, I think it was a rat. It was like but it was like a street rat, and it was like and there was like basically they wanted someone who sounds like a child but also aggressive. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. But so yeah, but the acting thing, I'm slagging off actors. I did BTEC drama, and I went to college and did performing arts, went uni and stuff. So like, I also studied for it. Yeah. So like, yeah, I am a hypocrite, but I just find actors the most like they lick their own bum the most.
Oh my God, Josh.
And I just like, because like when a musician, I love like, do you know what's that really fit bald New Zealand guy, and he interviews musicians, right? I can't remember.
This. Okay, but, your algorithm and mine are a bit different.
But he did. He's about 50. He's really fit. And I remember like he's interviewed like Kelly Clarkson. I love Kelly Clarkson. Same. So like when they bring out an album and then they talk about each single on the album or whatever, and he did one for Ray with this new album, and so listening to Ray talk about how she wrote all the music and then sang all the music and produced all the
I was going to say producer. I think she distributes as well or something. She's got unbelievable.
She does everything, and then that's like, she's brilliant, and then you've got an actor who's been told what to say and where to stand,
what to pick up, what to wear. Yeah.
And then they go, well, I just really wanted to get into the character of the actor, so I went to B&M Bargains for the first time in my life. And you're just like, fuck off. I fucking hate them.
I couldn't. What's so funny is, so one of my best mates is a very, very good actor, and he refers to them as actors with a capital A. Yeah. Like the people who are actors. And let me tell you, Josh, I went out with an actor, and it was all that. It was all that stuff, and but as was always the case, he wasn't actually very good. So you are just sat there being like, oh my living God.
How long have you been doing stand-up?
8 years.
Yeah. So I'm 11 now. 11, nearly 12. 11 years. Yeah. And the first 7 to 8. The first 8 years, I'd say it was my entire personality.
Okay.
And then all I had in my life was work. So then now I'm like, no, I need to get back to who I was before I did stand-up, because literally all I fucking cared about was stand-up. And I literally did like a year of therapy just because I didn't have a work-life balance. So I spoke all about getting my life back. And now I feel like normal again. Yeah. And I'm like, so but there's only so much chat backstage at a gig about stand-up and I love stand-up. It is, I do it because I love it, but like I'm like, I really try and have a normal life.
That is so interesting because I was an actor for all my 20s. And I'm supposed in theory still, but I would say I did that with acting. And so when I started stand-up, I made it my rule that it was never going to do that again. It was never going to be my life. It was going to be this thing. Even when I started stand-up, my rule was, if you like it this week, do it next week. If you like the next week, do it the week after. If you like, it was never, I made sure I didn't put it in the box that acting, because it ruined my life. It truly, deeply got me to a place where I was so bitter and resentful, and I don't think a very nice person. I was drinking a lot, and I just was like this. I mean, part of the reason I started stand up was I ran away. Like, I think I had a nervous breakdown and ran away to Chicago, and had a bit of a minute. And I would never do that with stand up. But
so I did my first gig, and then was like basically doing 5.
Yeah, of course you were. 5
nights a week, and then 6, and then it was like 7 nights a week, and I was like, I've not seen anyone I love in 2 years. And then I was like,
Mom?
Yeah. So then, now it's more normal.
Yeah.
But,
okay, this is actually a perfect segue. You using the word normal. This episode, I think the way I've kind of caged it is, a lot of the podcast is about bidding off the blueprint, and I was thinking about this because we were talking this week about it, and when I decided to have the baby by myself, I realised growing up, I had quite a homogenous idea of family life. I was in West London. I would say, when I really think about it, all the families in our village, in our life, were like us. Man, woman, the kids. Man, woman, the kids. There were a few divorces peppered in, but then they got another man or woman, then the kids. So my dad was playing rugby still at the time, so every weekend you were at a rugby club, which couldn't be more of a sort of homogenised group of people. And you saying like normal, I've always wondered, and what I love about the way Pickles is growing up, she's got loads of different versions of family in her life. She has so many same-sex couples in her life. She has another single mum. She's got me. She couldn't honestly point to being like, oh, that's what it should look like and be. Did you have an idea like of normal? Did you have an idea growing up of this is what it should be? And
no, no. I don't think it's got anything to do with being gay, but my family want normal.
Fab.
So no.
So actually, do you feel like you're like, I do whatever the fuck I like?
I do whatever I want, really. My mum and dad were married, but they were getting divorced while she was pregnant with me.
Got it. Yeah.
So like, I've joked about it on stage, but it is true. I have been told that I was a result of the last shag of a 12-year marriage, and I have been told that is an actual fact.
God bless. Good lad.
So then my dad actually had met, but because he split up so early on in the pregnancy, my dad had met my stepmom before I was born.
Beautiful.
So then, so then, when I was at my dad's, and my stepmom had 2 kids. My dad had a kid with my mum before me.
Yeah.
So I've got one full brother and a stepbrother and sister. But because they've been in my life all my life, I was told they were my brother and sister. But the stepbrother and sister, and I had 2 days a week at my dad's, and the rest at my mum's, and then like 1 day a week at my grand's, and. I don't think I had enough, because my mum then, by the time she was 6, I was 6 weeks old, she met my first stepdad.
God, sorry, bless that woman. I remember the state I was in at 6 weeks postpartum, and she was meeting and falling in love with men.
It didn't last very long.
Fuck, I don't care. That is goddess status.
So she met him, and they got a Great Dane. So I had a big horse in the house, which was great. And then they split up when I were about 5, maybe 6, I don't know. And then. Well, my mum had a bit of a wild couple of years where she was getting bladdered every night. Because,
Too right.
So she got divorced twice in a couple of years, and then both her parents died. So she went a bit off the rails.
Sure.
And we used to have mad house parties every single weekend. And remember, my mum bought me a karaoke machine, and we used to sing Barry White together on like a school night when at 7 in the morning. And I remember till not at 7 in the morning, till dead late in the morning. And I remember I didn't really have like a bedtime. I just kind of did what I want. And my mum she can't cook, so she used to just give us loads of, do you know when you got Haribo in the tub?
Oh, do
and
I?
Me and my brother, from when my brother's only 5 years older than me. And from when he was about 9 or 10, I'd be in the house just us two for a couple of hours. So we could just kind of do what we wanted. And we used to like fight all the time. Like both of us have matching scars because he threw me over his head and a bone popped out my arm. And it was kind of mad. And I remember once, so this was my mum's 40th birthday, and she was 32 when she had me, so I would have been like 7, 8.
Right, yeah.
And she had a massive house party, and these two blokes started fighting, and all the kids were upstairs so all the adults downstairs, and they all brought the kids, so just everyone was upstairs. And this is don't live in a mansion. Just like
By the way, this is very much what we had, but it was rugby people, so the kids all just got put in one room, and they were just like, you'll be, yeah.
So we was all whatever, and then the teenagers were downstairs. So my brother was in the teenagers, and I was in the
cool,
like kids. And I remember hearing my brother like scream because these two blokes started fighting in the hallway. I think one of them might have gone with the other's wife. I don't really know what happened. And
hey, anyway, I was in a house party.
My brother tried to break it up, and he got pushed out the way. So I heard him get pushed out the way. And my brother, I don't really remember it, but this is what my brother tells me. And I ran downstairs and then went, get off my brother. And then we jumped off the banister, and we used to watch wrestling. So like people to elbow these two blokes. And then I just got like pushed out the way. But yeah, so well, I haven't even finished yet.
So what's the question?
So then this was from when I was like 6 to about 9. And then she met me second stepdad, and they got married. And then they like to drink, they go out, but the house parties stopped being every single weekend. And then, so I'd have that. And then when I was at my dad and my stepmum's, that was a bit more normal.
Sure.
But even then, they would let me play out till like 10 at night when I was about 7 or 8. I think because I was the youngest out of 4 when I was at that house. They were like, who gives a fuck? And I've tried telling this.
We got 3 spares.
I've tried telling this story on stage.
And everyone just go quiet.
I don't think people can relate to it. But when we had on a caravan, my dad used to take us every year on a caravan holiday to France. But because all my siblings were teenagers, they were all like a year apart. So they were together, and I'm 5 years younger than like them, you know. So then I always had to go make my own mates. And I was about 6 or whatever. And my dad just let me walk around this caravan park on my own to find some mates. And then one day he said, and I don't remember this at all, so this is what my dad and stepmom tell me, that I walked in and was like, oh, Dad, I've made a mate. Can I bring my friend in? And they were like, yeah. So then I walked into the caravan holding hands with this like 21-year-old French woman who didn't speak a word of English. And we all played Snap. So to answer your question, I didn't really know what were going on, what were normal anyway.
No, that's perfect. Yeah. My eyes it's like I wonder if this will turn into a conversation where Josh is like, yeah, I had this idea. Is it was that much harder to come out and be gay and find like a calm domestic life that I have now? But you're like, no, fuck it. This is absolute rollicking mayhem.
And everyone just kind of let me like. I think when I was a kid, everyone was like, oh, he's just like in his own world or whatever. Yeah. So I used to just like go just like, I used to go places really.
Yeah, when have adventures.
I just used to, and I still speak to some of, because my friends so my mum lived on a main road, so I didn't really play out as much near my mum's, but my dad.
As much, yeah.
My dad lived like in an estate sort of thing. And we I thought of another thing that could explain me. 1 minute, but I'll tell you this one while it's in my head.
Good.
So my dad lived on a row of terraced houses, and we lived on one end, and there was an old woman who lived on the other end, and she was like one of my best friends, and I used to go in her house, and then one day she said that I can't come round anymore because her grandson was getting jealous, and she like broke up with me. She broke up with me. I was devastated.
So actually your first heartbreak was a woman.
Like an 85-year-old woman. But then my stepmom told me that she actually got done for shoplifting. When she got old, she got real mad.
Yeah.
And well, she's already old. But basically, when I was a teenager, my dad got a better job, and we'd already been. She split with me.
She split with you,
way years before that, so I'd moved on. But my dad got a better job, and basically got double glazing and a new car. And I think because they had 4 kids and the house was the only one with no double glazing, that everyone thought we would like scruss. Because he had a Toyota Space Cruiser.
Okay.
Have you ever seen one of them?
I don't know.
Family car.
Oh my goodness.
So basically, he had one of them, and then he got a new job, and he got a Kia.
Okay.
And basically, we thought, all right,
we're fucking. We're in now. All our numbers come up.
Sorry, this is not good for the edit.
No, it is good.
Toyota. How do you spell Toyota?
Toyota.
So we had one of them when I was a kid.
Oh, bliss. Very cheaper by the dozen of you. I love it. Absolutely, yes.
So with the 4 kids.
Yeah.
And then he got a family car Kia, like a 6-person.
Yeah.
What's it called? Well, it's like a minibus.
Yeah.
Like one of them, but a better one.
Yeah.
And double glazing. And then she wrote a letter and posted it through the house.
She wanted you back?
But no, it was like, how have you afforded it? But it didn't say who it was from. But my stepmom figured out who it was from the Christmas cards, because old ladies have like mad old lady handwriting. And it was like, we all know that you've done something bad. How have you got this? Who are you, like... Basically, because she always had like the nicest house on the street, and my dad got the bricks power washed, so like the whole house looked.
Oh Jesus,
like,
you were really flashing it about, weren't you? Fuck.
So it was like, wow, new money, and then she was fuming. So yeah,
it's a classic ex. That's classic straight woman ex, being like, how the fuck have you got all this nice stuff?
But before that, while she was there as well, but a lot of my friends from my dad's I still speak to, because we used to all play out together. I can't remember what the question was.
No, I don't care either.
But I don't think I had. I was always like playing out, fell out of trees and stuff.
Yeah.
I was always a bit like.
It makes so much more sense, because the other, like, we've talked about why someone who went to an all-girls school and is me, and is also someone who is you, have decided to go into an industry where all we do is hang around with like incredibly straight men.
Yeah.
In an area of the country where really we only hang around with straight men.
Because every circuit is a bit different, and the Northwest circuit is basically us and a load of lads.
Yeah.
And I really like them all.
So do I. But now, see, yours makes a lot more sense now, because you're like, you just actually will take any, like, you just have adventures in your own head and have a lovely time.
Yeah,
like, you actually are no kind of pre-existing decision of like what people should be. You're just like, got this girlfriend, she's 85, I love her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just find people, meet them, and I'm like, this, I like you.
Well, my partner, Nat, he loves and hates it that I'm really impulsive, and he's the opposite. He's very organised. Okay. But he does say,
do you still bring home 21-year-old French women though? Because I think like quite low.
No, but it is like someone's like, I can't say names. I'm really thinking of it, but they will be like, this comedian's staying at our house now. I'm not there, so are you home? That happens all the time.
I've actually been like comedian, like Matt Richardson. Well, whenever I'm down that way, he's like, you can stay at ours. I've told Sam. I'm like, does Sam want the house to herself? It's okay. He does it all the time.
We always have people staying. We always have people coming round for food. Before I was with him. He already lived there. Now we're friends with all the neighbours. Loads of them come round for food.
do.
And I cook for everyone. And I'm very like, I think he likes it about me, but I
Yeah.
think sometimes he's like, oh, God, there's always something.
I love that.
And he says that if we have a day off together, he has to sit me down and be like, out of the 8 things you've said in the last 5 minutes, we can only do one of them. So which one are we doing?
Power washing.
Because I don't even realise I do it, but then I know I'm doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I can't help it. But I'm like, oh, we can go to the zoo. Oh my God, we can go Yorkshire Wildlife Park. Let's go to London. I'm just like, I was like, we've got 8 hours. But I just get too excited.
I really like
And
that.
he plans everything.
Yeah. That's funny. That's really funny. I'm a planner. I'm like a big planner. I feel like very in control. But then similarly, I think about Pickles's childhood compared to mine. I mean, she has just maybe not as many situations as you, but she has been flung into so many situations already that I would never have gone near. I mean, we have pictures of her in these various different like comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Somewhere you're like, this is just a loo. This is like a mop cupboard behind a pub that my tiny baby is sat there.
I know, but I think that our life, like yesterday I did a show, I won't say who the comedians are because I don't know if they want me speaking about their kids. But they brought kids backstage and stuff, and there was like some famous people on the bill, and I was like, this is really cool for the kid. The kid doesn't know, but and we're all going on stage, a couple of 100 people just having a gig, and I'm like, that's a fun. As long as you keep an eye on the kid and
someone's got it,
like someone is there with you, then I think it's exciting.
I hope
it's
so.
a childhood. I think I would have responded.
I think you would have loved it very much.
So
Josh.
I like I like things that distract me.
Yeah. I bet. But that must be then, because you would, and by your own admission, say you're in a very stable relationship now.
Yeah, oh my God,
like, consistent and like domestically happy and calm. Was that almost more of a shock?
Yeah, I have a real boring life. And then I really like it.
Yeah.
So I try and make my life really boring, but like boring in terms of, this is really stable. And I always thought I'd end up with someone like fucking and I've tried that.
Sure. Yeah, we all have. Yeah.
But I think I respond well to someone who has structure, and when I go to his hometown and stuff, his whole family is so chill. He has quite a small family. I have quite a big family, because I've got loads of cousins and stuff, and like his family is really small. They're all I get on with them all, but they're all dead polite and whatever, and mine are just not like that, really.
I fucking love it though. I mean, you must find, like, when some people find comedy a very sort of overwhelming here, there and everywhere lifestyle, you must be like, this is fucking nothing.
I feel like Hannah Montana. I think I've got like 2 lives at the moment, and like my favourite place in the world is the Peak District. Oh. So I'll have if I have like a week of gigs, or if I do like a telly thing and it's like, wow, this is so exciting, I'll just like go and look at trees and stuff at the Peak District, and I'm like, oh, this is better in a different way.
Yeah.
But I need both of them. I like performing, and I like doing gigs, and I like hanging about with comedians.
Yeah. But also, I think this is a funny thing. Exact kind of goes back to what you said, is I also now don't really have the tolerance to hang out with the ones I don't want to hang out with in the nicest possible way.
I have, I know we won't.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just go, it's not that I can't. It's not that I can't handle myself for 2 hours. It's not that they're like dreadful people, but you just go, I actually don't want to. I actually don't want to. And I'm old enough and I'm savvy enough and I know myself enough to be like, I don't know. I'm all right. Thank you.
And like, I've been on the circuit enough now to know who I get on with. I don't have any enemies.
No.
I get on with everyone to a point.
Yeah.
There's people who I just don't. What's hard is now I don't smoke. So when I
Can't get out.
used to smoke, I used to leave green
course you can.
rooms.
Yeah, you fucking
But now you have to sit there. But I don't really gig with those people. And I
Yeah.
do think we have I don't know what people... shall you not speak to comedy-wise?
I don't mind.
I don't know what
No,
your
go for it.
audience
Whatever.
But I don't know what other comedians' opinions of the Northern Circuit is, but I think it's nicer than they think it is.
It's 100% that. And I say that someone who came from London.
Yeah.
And it's something that I feel I get very protective of when I'm back down in London. I mean, obviously, when we're up here, we're all giving each other shit and being like horrid boys to one another. But when it's... Who was it? Someone else said that. When it's... I think Sarika said it. But when someone else... Like, they think of the northern scene. It's why it's so funny that me and you are on it. As this very alpha, quote, maybe quite toxic, boysy scene of boys being boys and lads. And you're like... Yeah, they're also some of the softest, most pathetic, silly boys. I mean, that's I think why you said, because it's so funny. You're very sporty and athletic, and you have that bit on stage about having done boxing for ages.
Yeah.
And I do think, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and speak to being a gay comedian, but I think also you're not in any way intimidated, and I can't imagine you ever were intimidated when you started out.
By any of our male friends.
Peers, yeah.
No. Not that I would, but I think I could take most of them.
I think you take every single one of them. I think I could take every single one of them.
No, I'm not. And they're all... it's that thing, isn't it, where people say, if it's like an edgy comedian or whatever, they're actually normally nicer backstage.
I know, they're the sweeter one.
Yeah.
Because I came from an all-girls school, and I'm really, really nervous in rooms of girls. I still find big groups of girls really quite threatening and a bit like I'm just on guard. I'm not relaxed at all. I obviously have my girls who I fucking adore, but it takes a minute. It really a big, those fucking nightmare all-female comedy competitions. I absolutely can't. Not a fucking chance. This bunch of fucking idiots, easy peasy. Not an issue.
I'm weird where I think I just have a thing where I'll just speak to anyone.
I believe you could.
I can kind of speak to it. I have a thing where I'm like, if someone's homophobic, I could give me half an hour. I could get them on board, I think. I don't think I'll get them practicing, but I'll get them I'd build up some tolerance, I think.
I agree.
And when I'm struggled, there's a few people. There's one person. It's not in comedy, and I can't say who it is. But I spoke to my boyfriend about it, and I was like, because he struggles with this person,
right?
And then I really try, and I'm like, and we've been like, if I can't have a 5-minute conversation with you, you are dead inside. Do you know what I mean? There's something going on. I can speak to fucking anyone about anything.
Yeah.
That's my super skill.
Look at your love life back history.
Yeah, I can talk to anyone. But but also with the Northern Circuit, I think I think everyone's super lovely. But I think there is I think it's quite a good circuit to make you good at comedy.
So do I.
And I think that they are really nice, but no one is going to pander to you for anything, if you know what I mean.
So I had a really tricky, not tricky, I had a really lovely day. One of those things where they're trying to get women into comedy, and so they put on a day of women workshopping comedy and the newer comedians and blah blah blah. And I was, I guess, for who Christ knows how many people can do it, I was the person the expert, if you will.
Where was it?
Frog in Manchester, and they're brilliant and they're so about it. And Amy and Jess are so about getting the girls in. But we will have the Q&A bit at the end of it, and someone asked about the safe space, and I was like, I'm so sorry, it's not safe. Comedy's not a safe space.
Yeah.
You're up there by your fucking self. You're fucking vulnerable. It's nighttime. You then walk home to your car by yourself. You get to the other end by yourself. You're chasing the money. This is not safe. This is not sterilized. This is not comfortable. This is not cozy. If you are looking for a safe space, you can't do comedy.
I was once lost in a cornfield at night because I got lost on my Google Maps trying to find this station, and I was in a cornfield. I was like, I didn't even know they did corn here. I thought that was like an American thing, and I was just stood in loads of corn.
You were just in signs.
Yeah, it was fine.
Like,
but it was like, and it was it was going real dark.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like in Harry Potter when Bellatrix and stuff come to Ron's house and they run in that, and it looked like that. And I was like, I couldn't see any buildings or anything. And I was like, God, for a gig. Do you know what I mean, though?
Josh, if I'd had that story in my arsenal, I would have said to him, listen, you might get lost in a cornfield sometimes, ladies. And if you don't have your Google Maps on you, I can't help you. I can't help you.
It is, there is.
But all this to say, I was always the boys offering to walk me back to the car. They are always checking I get home safe. There is a care around it.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that the thing we're in is not, look, it's not cozy. It's not safe. It's not fine. It is fine. It's just.
And if you want to be good at it, you have to gig at every sort of gig. If you try and make it easier for yourself, you won't get good.
No.
Which is an horrible thing to say.
Lord knows you won't.
Because I think to get good at it, you have to have a real horrible life for like 7 years where it just takes over your whole life, and then you just like real cry all the time, and then you're good at it. And then you're good at it, and then you can like not do it as much.
Yeah.
And then you love it again.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Do you think that's what it is? And maybe that's with a lot of things. There's a moment where you have to lose all the love. You have to like be like so humbled.
I love stand-up the most now because I have really figured out that I don't need it to be happy.
Yeah.
Which, God, it sounds like I'm trying to be very like sort of Stephen Bartlett podcast.
Because you're on the Oprah podcast.
Yeah. But I don't need it. I've realised I can do other stuff that'll make me happy, and that's made me enjoy it so much more because I'm like, it's just a job. And it's a job that I like. It's a job, but
you're very good at.
Thank you, mate. Right. But I'm like I can't let it take over my whole life, because if when you die, like no one who's come to watch me at a gig can come to my funeral.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you wouldn't post on Instagram. Yeah.
If I die now, my funeral will be full of people who've had memories with me in the last 6 months. If I would have died 5 years ago, it'd be people who hadn't seen me in 3 years.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I do. It's the death of a salesman thing. And I think it pertains to every work, actually. I don't even think this is stand-up specific. I have mates in other industries where you're like, and it's maybe something you've got to go through, is to be like, this is what you do. It's not who you are. And I understand sometimes there's a bleed in. I totally get that. But it's the death of a salesman scene where right at the end, she's like, where are all the people? And it's like, he stopped.
I'm really not good at like advice now. I'm not good at it. I knew a comedian was asking me for advice, and they were really like, they were new, they were eager, and they were like fucking proper pecking me head off. And then they asked me for advice, and I said, you just need to calm down. I said, this is too much. Just like come at it from a more chill perspective, because you're going to set yourself up for failure there.
Yeah, that's such good advice.
And you could see that you could see like they were like really depressed, and I wasn't trying to hurt the feelings.
No.
But I was like, you're going to lose everyone in your life if you carry on like this.
I weirdly, and I said this in the episode, I think, I've said this before, I think part of the reason I'm loving my mummying days this first year is I really was ready to calm down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I did the things.
Yeah.
We've had the fun. We did the parties. Like, there's good. They're mopping up now. Like, it's good. You can go home. And I've loved the calm thing. And I say this because I am someone who doesn't actually really love it when people say, I've got a dog. It's just like having a kid. And I'm like, I'm probably, okay, that's fine. But with you, I actually feel quite differently because our babies came into our lives at the same time, didn't they?
Yeah. They did.
And I feel a real affinity with your parenting journey.
But she's a rescue dog.
Yeah, I think technically Pickles is as well. Like, she feels like a rescue dog. Get a rescue dog energy.
But she, because so I got Ellie on your baby's first gig.
Yeah.
It was the first day.
Yeah.
So on the first day I got, because I had to leave
to
the
go-
festival
I
to
remember.
go, because the dog was at home with my boyfriend. And so they're like 5 weeks apart,
Yeah.
although the dog was about 8 when we got
Sure,
him.
but it's the same. It's the same.
But yeah, so she's actually turning into a bit of a normal dog now. We got like the most damaged dog you could get.
Perfect.
And yeah, she had a real horrible life. And now it's real mad how quickly they can go from like scared of humans, so grateful for food because they've been starved, to just a spoiled bitch. Like now
it.
she's like an absolute princess, and I love it.
yeah.
She tells me off if I stop stroking her. So if I stop stroking, she goes, "Arr," and I have to do it again. She
God,
really
I
bosses me
love
about.
this.
I love it. But yeah, so now I've got 2 cats and a dog.
Gosh, we are domestic bliss, aren't we, sir?
I'll probably have a baby in a couple of years.
Fucking great.
And I think I've got very good, it's
Yeah.
like good balance now. But
Yeah.
sometimes I do, I do have a moment where I'm like, do you know, you're like, I need to like go and shake something off.
What I actually said it on the pod. I had a day where we were just a lot. There was two ginger women in the house, and we were too much. And I realised what was stressing me out is that usually when I get like quite, and it wasn't her fault. There was other stuff going on, and my head was swirly, and I had a lot to do, and I wasn't getting it done. And I realised I was like, what I would usually do is do your equivalent of the Peak District, where like I take myself off for a couple of days, find an Airbnb, just sit,
Chill.
calm, read, like regroup. And I was like, oh, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone now. You can't just fuck off on one of your little adventures. Like
No.
that has gone. But they're momentary. I'm not getting them as much as I did. I was a real like sign out and run. Like I was a real
Yeah.
peace out and run girl a lot before her.
I'm like that. That's my
Yeah.
go-to, but it's not now.
But I think maybe that's because, dare I say it, lives are like good and calm, and there's this like solid base that actually the squirly whirlies don't come in as much.
Also, as well, like my partner's really organised, and I do a to-do list before bed every night, and it's really just helped me like get my shit together, really.
Can I say something, Josh? All these, like, so I have so many friends now who self-diagnosed with ADHD. Have you got ADHD?
Everyone said
Everyone's
it.
got ADHD.
Everyone said it.
There are people in my life who have ADHD, and I've bitten my bottom lip, I will tell you that, uncharacteristically, and just in my head being like, yes, but have you tried a to-do list? Like, have you tried to set an alarm and do a to-do list? Doesn't it?
So I don't know if I have ADHD. I'm never going to get tested for it because I'm dyslexic and I've got that. That's been my thing since I was 7
Okay,
years
so
old.
right, so that's your badge you're keeping.
So that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thing. I remember I went on a first date with a psychologist, and he asked me 10 minutes into the date, he said, is it extreme dyslexia or ADHD? And I didn't know that those two kind of went together.
Gosh.
I said
Did you say,
extreme dyslexia.
mind your fucking business?
No,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you're a wizard. And then I gave him a blowjob. I gave him a blowjob for like 6 months. We was together for a while.
It's a very long blowjob.
Yeah, it was a very long blowjob. I was just very impressed by him.
Yeah.
But I do get told, but I think I'm not. I don't think I am.
No, sorry, I'm just fun.
Yeah, I just
I'm
think,
just fun and quick.
and I also think if I stop being like scattery, who am I? do you know what I mean?
I remember
Like-
I was, if you can bear, sleeping with a male comedian once when I first started. I only slept with American ones because like lol, and I remember one of them saying the reason they wouldn't go to
Why
therapy
is that worse?
because this is going to come out, and I hope they don't listen to this, but because I didn't know how long I was going to be out in Chicago, it was like Monopoly fucks. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? We were like, these aren't real.
But I just felt American.
Yeah, they're so earnest. One of them, I remember shouting at him, no more feelings. I was like, no more feelings. You're not allowed to tell me any more of your feelings. None. They're so... That's not good. That's not a good...
I don't like feelings. I like
feelings from someone that you care
much.
about.
To an extent. So I grew up very sort of, everyone kind of looks after themselves. I remember when I was getting bullied off this big kid, and then my mum, I went and told my mum expecting her to do something about it, and she taught me how to uppercut.
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, she said, well, you have to deal with it yourself. And she went, if someone's bigger than you, you uppercut them and they lose balance. And then when they've lost balance, then you take them down. And it does work. But I wanted her to like get involved.
Yeah.
But I've always been raised to like, sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then James, my partner, his family is so emotional and they cry over happy things like all the time, which is crazy to me. And his mum, who I really get on with, was like crying out of happiness, and I just had to walk away. I walked away, and then later on I said, I just can't handle that. I'm sorry. And I just find it weird. Like, you're happy while you're crying.
I think it's the thing that all comedians have in common, where like I can do crying, but sometimes, like, it's really not all the time. Like, it's now and again. But this male comedian literally said, he was like, I don't want to do therapy because, like, what if I get okay and then I'm not funny anymore? Like, there's a lot.
Was he super funny anyway?
He could have handled therapy.
Yeah.
We could have, set the world on fire. It is so funny though, that like the cry thing.
Yeah, I find crying out of happiness really funny. But it's just because like my two best friends I've been friends with since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And they are kind of similar. We're all everyone's a bit tough inside and a bit like my family. No one's very soft, really. They're not knobheads, but they're just like, bit like, fuck it. And I think when people don't know me dead well, they think I'm going to be like emotional or whatever. And then when people get to know me, they're like, oh, you're a stone. Just a stone that giggles. But like, yeah, emotions I find a bit hard. Really. Yeah, I can handle them to an extent.
Yeah.
But I am the friend who I give a lot of advice, but my close friends know I'm like when they're ready for proper advice.
Okay.
I don't sugarcoat.
You're a bad cop.
Yeah.
I like that. I have a couple of those friends.
But
Where
I'll cook for them.
Yeah.
Whilst
telling them that they're being fucking idiots and need to grow up. Yeah. No, I like that, Josh. I think you're going to make the most perfect parent.
Yeah.
But the village of people who will arrive at your house. Ooh. Oh my God. I've loved this the most. You're so wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
and
coming in.
It wasn't too emotional.
opery, was it?
No. That's what I was scared of.
I really was going to
I really enjoyed the one with Brennan.
Yeah.
And I love Brennan.
I know.
But I was like, wow,
went there.
I thought we were going to get really...
No, I know. I think Brennan and I just did like a version of our voice notes, but over 45 minutes. Which
it was great. I love it. And, but yeah, I get scared of not being...
Okay, one day I'm going to start a new series of podcasts where I just bring comedians in and just needle them till they fucking weep. That's what I think I should do.
I really don't know what you could do to make me cry.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out on the Patreon special of...
Just put Bette Midler Beaches on. I cry at films more than life.
Yeah, that's okay. That's because you're human, Josh. A functioning, excellent human.
I do cry at films. I can cry when the script has said cry at this point. Like I can cry at the timing.
Fuck yeah. And you don't need to do a fucking hour about how you got into character. You can just fucking do it like a pro.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you. Josh Jones, you're the best. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so good. Okay, the letter portion of my week. Now, as I've overshared on the podcast, I'm entering a new chapter. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever said out loud. And I just need you to be gentle. Right. Have any of you heard of the book Calling in the One? I really, just before you all like turn off and want to be sick, as I do, Calling in the One, my friend Lucia, who actually I think Chris and I spoke about, my great mate in Chicago. What was it even her? It was one of the Chicago girls, might have been Claire, was like, you should read. This was years ago. I think I was in another breakup or something, or I just picked another absolute spanner. And she's like, read Calling in the One. I was like, gross. First of all, that's mortifying. Second of all, I'm not even sure I want to call in the one. Third of all, I don't believe in the one. Fourth of all, imagine being on a train reading calling in the one. Also, it feels like I'm going to have to do some sort of like naked dances in the rain. And she was like, no. And it's kind of brilliant. It's a workbook very much. If any of you have done The Artist's Way, it's a bit like that, but for relationships. So you sort of go through this thing like week by week. And it's almost like book therapy. There's exercises you have to do, things you have to do. You have to write down quite a lot, but it's more about you. It's more about going, noticing your relationship patterns, noticing your issues and your bad habits, and maybe where you're behaving in a way that isn't conducive to finding what you're looking for. Anyway, this is all just trying to make me feel less of a muppet. I feel like a muppet talking about it, but it's called Calling in the One. I really did actually enjoy doing it at the time, and sometimes I go back and reread it, not because I'm calling in the one, but because I'm trying to hold myself accountable for living a life where good people, romantic or otherwise, come into my life and populate it. But in keeping with that, I'm manifesting the great love, my great love. And it is basically just one man. And I know who he is, and I've known for some years now. And I've decided to be really brave this year and just call him the fuck in, actually. Dear Rip from Yellowstone TV show, I appreciate that you're a fictional character and that even if you were not, you live in Montana and the likelihood is that our paths would not cross. But, despite that, I actually think we have more in common than you think. You ride a horse all the time and have murdered some people. I'm pretty good at soul cycle classes and one time made one male comedian cry, and it's still what I'm best known for on the circuit. I also get told all the time that myself and your fictional wife Beth are ultimately the same person, and all this to say I'd like to be considered a realistic option for soulmate. I totally understand you may have reservations, but to those, I would say, be braver, Rip. Be brave, like me. I live in a city and you hate those, but I've always known in my bones that I would like to only see my soulmate a few months out of the year, not all 12. That feels like a lot. How can I possibly treasure a soulmate as one should when he finishes the shampoo without telling me and uses a tea towel as a napkin? And I'll be honest, Rip, you do have that vibe. We would happily come to you. I've spent many a formative summer in my happiest place on earth, a cattle farm out in Virginia. And let me tell you, I drive stick in a farm jeep competently. I have helped inseminate cows, role of cow whisperer, and I can provide references. I can drink American beer like it was my life's purpose and can still rally the next day after a big one, enough to climb hay bales. I have never actually been trusted with helping a cow birth, but I've watched enough of them and input useful things like, what the fuck is that bit? And maybe she's just shitting at force. My daughter exclusively heads towards danger and mud, and so she'll be fine. Your lifestyle will suit her down to the ground. All this to say, I think during our months on the ranch, we wouldn't be completely without our uses. Here's why I am in love with you. Firstly, you were broken on the inside and have overcompensated by getting really strong on the outside. And that, for me, I have realised, is really the top shelf stuff where it comes to my taste in men. You're one of the most voraciously sexy, clearly potent men on this earth, and yet you seem to have eyes for no other woman than the redhead you love. And I know hair and makeup keep pouring blonde on her, but you can't fool us. And that tells me you are smart, Rip, because only the smartest men know that to keep a redhead, you don't ever, ever try to make them jealous. It doesn't yield good results. Only murder happens, and they're never caught. I love you because you are loyal, and not like when lads say they are loyal, but that only manifests through picking a local pub and keeping it for the next 35 years. Actually loyal. The sort of loyalty that makes how was your day an actually honest question, not fishing for bad clues. But most importantly, you make everyone around you feel safe. Not the ones you're punching to death, but everyone else. And I think maybe, dare I say, as many, many grounded, mature women have said before me, that's the dream now. To just canter through life next to a man that makes me feel safe. Safe enough to go faster, safe enough to slow down, safe enough to ask for help, safe enough to go it alone for a second or two, safe enough to be tired and bad-tempered, and safe enough to let my hair down and down the bottle in one. That's it, that's all. And funnily enough, I think that's why so many women have fallen for you, Rip, rather than the guy who was clearly actually meant to be the heartthrob of the show. But honestly, while he's a lot of pretty, he's also a lot of drama, and maybe we leave him for the girls. Because it's us women who are yours forever. As indeed I am. I have included my address in this letter, but honestly don't come here as there's no room and I'm worried you'd infringe on my side of the bed, and also I'm game for a holiday. I love you forever, Rip. You're Hatty.